I don't know why I'm laughing. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I have Miss Gamer Watch here with me. We've been watching The Last of Us since like the first episode. We just been watching it. And I played the game. I played the first game and I played the second. And she's watched me play the first. She watched me play both of the games, but we're talking about the first one. She watched me play the first one, and yeah, this show has been really good. Hi, welcome on in, Carvin. Welcome on in. Do you like The Last of Us? Have you seen the show? We're gonna be talking show spoilers. Although I've played the game, I will refrain from game spoilers. I'll do my best. Some of the stuff that happened in the show does indeed happen in the game, especially dialogue and stuff. But, you know, I don't want to spoil y'all if y'all plan on playing the game, which I recommend y'all do. I recommend y'all play the game. It's awesome. Okay, it's one of the best games that I've ever played. And I think the show has done the game justice. I have not been upset. And there's some shows like recreations of games that in Resident Evil that just are so, they're just bad. Like, that's all I can say. They're bad. They don't give the game justice. This one, like, hi Agent, welcome on in. This one, like, HBO, hello? They've definitely, like, the fans of the show, we're pleased. You know, I feel like everyone is, like, has been saying, okay, it's good. They really have enjoyed it, and I personally have enjoyed it too. So that's a long intro. So yeah, for those who haven't watched it, I'm gonna do my best to like recap up to episode 7. Yeah, episode 7. Episode 8 is tonight. If I do recommend, I'm gonna post it on the bottom, but I did do a trailer reaction, and then I also did a recap of the first episode. So I do recommend y'all check those out. They're in the recap playlist below. Really good stuff. But anyways, the first episode, you know, we meet Ellie, and we meet her like in the middle of the episode, but the beginning of the episode was really, like, I played the game, so I knew what was gonna happen when I because I played the game, but the changes that they did were really good. They made you fall in love with Sarah, Joel's daughter. They make you fall in love with her. You really get to experience her day, which it's really an opportunity, I think, that they did to expand it, because in the game, is this a spoiler? Game, is that a spoiler if I say that, like, it's different? It's different.
I don't think it's a spoiler by saying that, no.
Okay. Also, can y'all hear Gamer? So make sure they can hear you. I think they can hear you. Yeah. But yeah, like, so you get to experience her day. And they really, like, you really fall in love with her. And when the unfortunate events of the cordyceps fungus starts happening, everybody's going crazy. It's like literally the end of days. Everyone's dying, all the stuff, right? She unfortunately is a casualty of the outbreak. And then you really get to, like, you see Joel, and he is a changed man. He's, you know, obviously he's lost his daughter. There's a this pandemic, apocalypse, zombie, whatever infection thing going on. The world is in shambles. Like everything's out. Like it's just disorder everywhere. And he's just like trying to survive, and he's surviving as a smuggler. I think he smuggled like drugs and like alcohol and stuff. And then you meet Tess. She's also a character in the game. And you meet her. You kind of feel like they're in a relationship together. But again, like because, and this is 20 years after the outbreak started. So like, just think about it. Like they've been going through this for 20 years. Like his mental, his like mind is just like not how it was when he, had his daughter in the beginning. And then like, and I'm trying to remember, I think, they have a connection with the Fireflies, and those are the people who are really fighting this regime that started called Fedra. And they're like the only government bodies. There's no president. There's no, like the whole world is literally a mess. Like it's happening worldwide, not just the US, it's everywhere, it's worldwide. But they're like the only ones who are like, I guess the government body, trying to maintain structure, but really it's like they're not. And you have like these rebels called Fireflies. And then you meet Ellie, who is like the essential character of the game. And in the game, she follows Joel. Like you operate Joel for the majority of the game. And then like at some point you switch to her, but she's with you through the entire game. To see her brought to life, like I honestly think they picked the right actress to play Ellie. Miss Lady Mormont.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Right? Miss Lady Mormont is doing justice to Ellie. Like I really enjoy watching her really bring the character to life. And so like they basically have to take care of her, smuggle her to another outpost in hopes of a cure, basically. And that's episode 1 in a nutshell. Episode 2 is like a continuation of their journey. Tess unfortunately gets bitten. You get to see clickers for the first time on the show, and my God, what'd you think about the clickers, Gamer?
Besides them doing a really good job with the can't think of the word right now, the makeup and how the actor pretended to be it was just cool to see it come to life, because you see it in the game, it creeps you out. It always creeped me out. It's the one thing I don't want to be in a room with. It's one of those. But it was nice to kind of see how they envisioned it. They brought it to life, and thankfully it was just one, because eventually we see a whole bunch of them, and that was a really good episode. So for me, I liked it. They did a good job. I think the one thing is that I was expecting a little bit more on the body, but it could be that that's just how it is in the game, and they didn't want to go too far with doing too much.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely agree. I enjoyed the clickers. And I heard that they used the same actors that did the motion capture for the game. So like,
I thought it was the Planet of the Apes. I thought maybe
it is. Yeah, it is. It's the Planet of the Apes director, or like the people who do the. I keep thinking dance. Like when you hire a choreographer. There we go. The choreographers. They did use ones from Planet of the Apes to facilitate, like, like the movement. I'm trying to find a word, but like the movement and stuff, like to get them to contort their bodies like that. And the noises, like this could be a rumor, but I heard that like some of them even, like we had the voice actors like the actual voice actors in the game who do the clicking noises were involved as well. And I'm like, to make that, like, I can't even do that. I'm not a voice actor, but the clicking noise, like that alone was like, ugh, it's so creepy. And the makeup, like, it was all practical makeup. There was some CGI. I heard there was some CGI, but like, the majority of it was actual, like, people molded and made the fungus, like, and then they spray painted it. They made it. They added like some goo onto it. Like, it's there's a lot of backstage stuff that y'all could check out. And like, I think some of them I found on YouTube as well. But if you have HBO Max, definitely like the BTS stuff about how they did it. So good. So you get to see clickers for the first time. It feels pretty one-to-one with the audio of the game. I almost thought they just took clips. Yeah. Yeah, that's originally what I thought. I thought it was just like copy paste, but I heard like the actual, like they took people, and you see this throughout the whole series, that they take characters who were in the game and give them new roles. So they're like reusing their sources that worked. And like, if you have a voice actor who was stellar in the game, it was a good idea to just bring them back. Bring them back for the TV show, have them do the same thing and crush it. And that's exactly what they did. Because those suckers, I like Gamer said, I couldn't be in a room with them. I couldn't be in a room with them. I don't even run that fast. I can't even be in a room with them. I would be out the door, out that window. Yes, I would leave. But yeah, Tess gets bit by a clicker, and you know, she obviously, she dies, but she does something very heroic. She uses gasoline that they had in I think it was like a church. I think it was like a church or like a Congress room, some place, like an auditorium. And she basically sacrifices herself. And then it's just Joel and Ellie going on to the next adventure. And then it changes to, so like the things I like, the changes that they made to the TV show that wasn't in the game, they done it right. One of the changes is Tess's ending. It's different in the game. It's totally different in the game than it is in the TV show. And in the TV show, it actually works. It works more for the TV show. I think if they did the same scenario in the game, it wouldn't have made sense. Mainly because when they escaped the quarantine zone, they ran into this like federal soldier who was friends with Joel, and they killed him. And then that was it. In the game, something similar happens, but like, I don't want to spoil it, but something similar happens in the game. But because it's a game, you have all these obstacles, you have all these bad guys that you have to shoot up and avoid, be stealthy and everything. So it works out in the game. But in the TV show, because it had the interaction with that guy and he was the only federal officer, it wouldn't have made sense to have like the scenario in the game happen. I don't want to spoil it. It's so hard. It's so hard not to spoil it from the game. But it's different. It's totally different. Tessa's story. And I liked how it ended for her. And then another difference is the Bill and Frank story. So in the game, you only meet Bill. Semi-spoiler, I don't know. But you just meet Bill. You don't meet Frank. And Bill helps you get the car battery, and like, it's a totally different story. In the TV show, you meet Bill in the beginning. He's like this doomsday prepper type dude, lumberjack can hotwire a car. He hotwired freaking the electrical services place at the I don't even know what it's called, the electrical plant where you get Wi-Fi and stuff from. Like he hacked that so he could get lights. He basically had a whole bunker underneath a basement. Like he was that dude. And you get to really like you in the game, you know, he's kind of like that dude. Like he seems very rugged, knows his way around a car, a gun, can hunt. Like he looks like a survivalist basically in the game. But that's all. Like you don't know his life story, you know? In the in the TV show, you know, you get to see his life story. You get to meet Bill, and I loved it. I cried in the episode. And then he meets Frank, and then they like you in the game, you sense that there was more to Bill and Frank. Like they gave you hints that maybe they were, you know, because he in the game he said his partner. So you get an idea that, you know, maybe they were in a relationship. Maybe Frank meant more to Bill than, you know, it alluded to. Especially if you read all the letters and stuff around. But in the TV show, they really did expand on that.
Yeah, they made it clear that it was a relationship from the beginning and that they were growing together, and he meant more to him than just someone that he found randomly in a hole.
Yo, you're gonna have to embrace the spoilers. Viewers discretion advised. I know. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard not to spoil the game.
Yeah, did I just spoil it? I just
No.
Okay.
No, it's fine. No, like honestly, I think I like the viewer discretion advised, so I'm gonna add that there. Just, you know, give a little, you know.
There's one thing I wanted to go back on, and
Yeah.
it was with Joel and Tess, and it was that kiss, you could say.
Oh
I
yeah.
found that to be extremely creepy, and they did it right when it came to showing the close up and also giving you an insight into how this organism, you know, connects with one another. So it's another layer to it that maybe the game didn't really examine, because the show is taking a slightly different direction with how they want to portray certain things. So I just saw that and I was like, wow. Now that's a real sacrifice, the fact that she had to endure that, knowing that, you know, something was going to happen, and she wanted to make sure that they had enough time. But I just wanted to make that comment before you kept going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that too. Yeah, like that doesn't happen in the game. Like you don't even see Tess die. You just hear it in the game. But going back to what you said about like how they're treating the infected, how different it is in the game, like it makes sense. For one, viewer discretion, there's spores in the game. So in the game, you have to put on a mask at some point because there's spores, and spores carry the cordyceps fungus and can kill you. They can affect you, other stuff, right? Realistically, the spores, like we wouldn't live, like we would not survive if it was airborne like that. Like it can't be contained if it's airborne. In the game, it works because it's a game. You can say, you know, this building has spores. That's it. It's not going to ever leave that building in the game. But in real life, it's going to be out there. It's going to be out in the atmosphere beyond that building. So what they did in the TV show is that they added a hide mine where the cordyceps fungus, if you step on it, if you like disturb it in any way, alerts the infected and they come to your location. That's new. That's not in the game. It works for the TV show. And when Tess got affected, and you see how they're not attacking her, right? They're ignoring her. They see her as one of them. And that moment where the I think it was a stalker, that moment where the stalker is giving her the kiss of death, it's like they're connecting with her, because and you see how she's not even, did you notice she wasn't even fighting? Like, she
Yeah,
just stood
she was
there.
just letting it happen. Yeah. And I thought at that point that it was just going to be immediate. Like as soon as it connected, it was like done deal. But she still had her faculty. She was still trying her best to get the lighter in her hand to light. So I just was like, I was just amazed on the way that they portrayed that, because I just said, wow, that did what it needed to do. It creeped me out.
Mm-hmm.
It had that factor, and also set the stage for what they were going to set up later on. Like you said, the connection, because they were going a different direction with making it not airborne. They had to figure out, well, how are the infected going to appear? How are they connected? How is it going to make sense throughout the show? And that to me was the starting point to say, oh, okay, so they communicate like that. So if there's anything on the ground that's still alive, there is a way for them to reach out and find out where you are. And then eventually you see that all too well. And I think that was one of the best episodes of the show so far, because it was so much excitement, because there was a period where it was very quiet, very muted. There was a lot of emotional connection. You saw Bill's romance, and how everything ended. You got to see a slow build of a connection between Ellie and Joel, and then you're like, where is the excitement? Where are the infected? And then it gave it to you all at once.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's like, it's crazy how she, like, is the emotion, like, watching it and being able to, like, it just looked disgusting to me. Like, I love how they're like, okay, so the tentacles is new too. That shit is not, oh, excuse my language, but that's not in the game. That's something totally different that they added, the little tentacles that come out. It's like, they've the way they've changed the what they're deciding to keep in the TV show from the game, and what the things that they're altering is really smart. And as someone who's played the game, I've been able to pick up on that stuff and smile because it works. So we got Carvin. Let's see what you wrote. I remember in the behind the scenes, they talked about how there's a bunch of Easter eggs about the foods. Yes, that could be contaminated and spread an infection when it first started. Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Yes. I was gonna get to that, but like, since you said it, we gonna just go straight into that conversation. In the game, you get newsletters. Like, there's newsletter articles and clippings about like something that needs to be contained, like contamination of, I think it was crops and stuff. I think it was like crops, and then they mentioned like a monkey outbreak. Like something happened to monkeys, and contaminated crops in like a lab or whatever. So you get an idea of like, okay, this is what happened. This is how it started. But in the TV show, they picked bread. They picked flour as being like the culprit of the cordyceps. And I believe it was episode 2. Yeah, episode 2, you get to see the first batch of infected in Indonesia. And I believe, yeah, in the first episode, they mentioned Indonesia as like some sort of like outbreak. Something weird is going on in Indonesia in the first episode in the radio, while Joel and Tommy and Sarah are eating breakfast. So when you get to see that, and you find out, okay, it started out in this factory, and I think there was like 14 people missing. Like, the lady was like, oh, I think she was like, you can't contain it. It's this loose. It's loose. And people were saying that that wouldn't make sense because you cook flour, right? But I thought of this. So yes, you cook flour, right? So cooking the flour, you should be able to kill anything that's in there, right? But what if, and this is, hear me out, y'all, hear me out. When I make cake, right? I make cake, you use flour with the cake box, right? Use flour. And you mix it up in a mixing bowl. Don't y'all lick the bowl? I do. I lick the bowl and I eat the raw cookie dough
Not
or
me.
the raw. You don't do that?
No, I don't know.
Damn, so I would be infected.
I would be smelling it, like if it came down to it, depending on what I'm making. Like if it's a banana bread, I feel like that's something that you could taste. But if I'm making a regular cake, nah, I would just know that I'm proportioning the right measurement so that when I put it together, I know it's going to be good. So I tend to not do that.
Carvin said, yeah, we lick the bowl, spoon and all. So me and Carvin will be infected. Gamer will be infected, yeah, because I licked the bowl. So like it wouldn't make sense. Like, and what if you didn't cook it all the way and you accidentally eat raw cookie dough or raw this, like cookie dough flavored ice cream, like it's possible. And all you really need is that one person. And also when you think about it, when you're handling flour, doesn't it become airborne at one point? Like it becomes airborne at one point, like the dust particles. So maybe it's in the dust particles and you breathe it in, right?
I don't know.
No,
I think it's just once you ingest it. I don't think it being in the air does anything different unless it has properties that allow it to survive and travel. So I feel like if you like bought flour and you're like coming in getting excited to cook something, and you go, oh, let me go and start it, and then you accidentally knock the flour bag and it drops and you see this big shroom cloud and you walk in it, I don't think you just immediately turn.
Well, they did say it takes a couple hours.
Taste it, yeah.
They did say it takes a couple hours before you actually know you're affected. But yeah, I'll be going for sure. Me too. Agent A says not him. He does not eat the cookie dough or eat the raw. So it's just a few of us who would be. But you really only need just that one person to lick the bowl. Really, like just the one person lick the bowl, and then they bite someone, and then that person bites someone, and then we everybody affected. But yeah, like that was a good theory that they added to the game as to like how it spread it and like how it happened. Because when you think about it, like we get all of our sources, all our food sources from, factories in other countries, and even our own stuff, like everything is manufactured, There was also this article, and I also think they did like a YouTube video. If I find it, I'll clip it. I'll leave the link in the description if I'm able to find it. But there was a fungal outbreak on crops. I think it was like corn was infected, and it made people have hallucinogenics. Like they were hallucinating, not in a good way. It wasn't mushrooms. It was the bad hallucinations. Like there was one dude jumped off of a building because he thought he could fly. One dude, I think, cut himself or something because it's just weird stuff was happening off of like the fungus infecting the corn. So there has been situations where like it has like something similar has happened. But like, I think that's where they've taken their idea from, the crops being infected and stuff like that. Not to scare anybody. Eat your veggies, but not to scare y'all. But yeah, I think they did their research and they found a scenario that actually works. Like every time you drop a little pancake batter It goes every exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's a possibility you can smell it. You can sniff it. And accidentally you accidentally ingest it. There's possibilities. But yeah, back to so episode 3, Bill and the Frank episode was very emotional for me. You meet Bill in the game, but like I said before, you don't really get to know him. You have an idea of who he is or how he is based off of like your interactions with him as Joel. But in the TV show, he's a cool dude. Like, he could cook. I was like, damn, like, I want Bill to cook for me. Like, he could cook. He was throwing down, okay? He was eating all kinds of food. He was eating rabbit, lamb. Like, it was so good. And it was like, it was gourmet food, too. And he just lived by himself for like, I think it was like 4 years, just lived by himself. And then he ran into Frank, and, you know, they found each other, and they lived with each other for so long. And Frank is totally different than Bill. Bill is a solitude man. He sticks to himself. He thinks he doesn't need anybody. He has like basically all of his connections he doesn't have anymore. I don't even think he had connections to the real life anyway, except for he did mention his grandma owned the piano. So there was some family connection, but as far as like people in general, he didn't have any connection. So he was able to become that survivalist and live in a bunker and be by himself. But then when he met Frank, it opened up I feel like it gave him a new life. Like, he was reborn when he met Frank. It changed his mindset. And really, like, I think the most emotional part of the episode really was when you see how long they've been together, and they got old together. Like, they've lived so long. And it's crazy, like, the infection, the cordyceps thingy outbreak started in 2003. And then I like how the TV show gives you like what the date or the year it is. They do that in the game. They keep you updated, like, this is happening in the fall, or like this is happening in 2010. So with the Bill and Frank episode, you do see that they've been together for a very long time. And they grow old together. And it's like, he would have been by himself if he didn't ran up and found Frank in a hole. You know, if he didn't trust and open up his heart to someone, to a stranger, like, he just met the dude in a hole. He would have been by himself. And they died together. And I cried.
Yeah. I just thought of something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could take Bill and Frank's relationship and kind of map it to Ellie and Joel's blooming relationship. When it comes to just connecting and getting to know each other, I feel like it's the same thing. You know, Joel, after a certain point, was used to doing certain things. He kind of let go of what was once his past because of what happened with his daughter, and he was very hard, very stern, very cold, very calculating, manipulative. And then Ellie starts to change him, and he starts to realize that. So I'm like, maybe you could do that too, that kind of examination, because I feel like they set you up. They're like, look at what happened here when someone opened up their heart. Can Joel do the same?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, you do see it. You do see it. Like, in the later episodes, like episode 4, I think is when you really see it. The relationship between Joel and Ellie really form is in episode 4. And it's just that, like, I do agree with you. Like, he was so cold and just like, he didn't even call Tess. So in episode 4, there's a snippet in the episode where you get to see Joel and Tess in the past. when they met Frank and Bill, or Bill and Frank, when they met them. And he doesn't even call her his like love or girlfriend or partner even. He just says mine. If mine were to, like he doesn't even have a word for her. But you know that he had feelings for Tess, especially when she opens up that she got bit. You can see it in his eyes that he's hurt. And he, like, she even says, like, I don't ask much from you. Even I think she was like, how you felt about me. I didn't ask you to, like, basically she didn't ask him to admit that he had feelings for her. So he was closed off a lot of the time, like through those years. And then he meets Ellie and you start to see that he's opening up. In the fourth episode, I believe it opened up where they're traveling from Bill and Frank, and she has a pun book, and she's like, she's just like saying all these puns to Joel, and he's like, he wants to laugh, like he wants to laugh. It's bringing him memories of his daughter. You can see it in his eyes, but he's not acting on it. Good morning, USA. Hi, Aika. Welcome on in. You start to see that he's having feelings right now. And he's a lot less harsh on Ellie. And then when she saves him from the teenager that attacked him, because when they're traveling, they believe they're going to Kansas instead of Philadelphia. They go to Philadelphia in the game, but they went to Kansas in a TV show, and they ran into these raiders, and it's basically a shootout, and he tells her to hide. He tells her to, not engage, and she comes out when she hears that he's struggling. And she defends him. And one change they did from the game to the TV show is his reaction to it. In the game, he reacts very harsh and mean to her. He basically says like he could have died. Why would you do that, kind of thing. But in the TV show, he's like more empathetic with Ellie. And he actually, she wanted a gun. She wanted the gun for like, I think episode 2, she wanted to have a gun, and they were like, nah. So in this episode, he actually gives her gun. And he trusts her with his life, basically. And I thought of that as like, a father passing over like an heirloom or something, like taking their child golfing and like sharing their hobbies with them, like interacting and connecting with their child. That's how I saw it. I saw like at that moment she basically was a daughter figure for him, and then throughout that episode they start to talk more, and the pun book comes around, and he's like, I think he says that she is she's stupid, but like a good way, because that was a good joke too about the if diarrhea runs in your genes. I thought that was funny.
It was the perfect dad joke.
It was really the perfect dad joke. So yeah, like what Gamer said, I think definitely like Joel's story is changing. And he's changing like how Bill did. And it's I like how they're doing. I like how they're changing. Like, speaking of Joel, I like how they're changing how he is. Oh, let me see. Carvin said, I wonder if their relationship would have worked in a normal world. I think so. Because Bill and Frank are different people. And I think opposites attract. Opposites definitely attract. And I think, I think it would have worked. I really do. It, the apocalypse really, like, they only spend time with each other. If other people were involved, I still think it would work. They had Tess and Joel. Like, apparently, it to me it seemed like Frank was talking to Tess a lot over the radio. So they had connections with people outside of their town that they lived in by themselves. So I do think it would have worked. I do think they would have lived a long life together like they did in the TV show. It's like any contaminated food, I guess, like Chipotle or pink sauce. Wait, pink sauce? What about pink sauce? Pink sauce is contaminated? Oh, okay. So Aiko said, oh, okay. It's okay. You can just chill out here and watch. Listen, it's okay. Yeah, definitely not be here for a long because. Okay, it's fine. Thank you for stopping by. It's okay. Thank you for stopping by. I hope it interests you to play the game, or watch the TV show. Definitely. But yeah, like, and then the story that intertwined with the Joel and Ellie saga was the Henry and Sam story. And as someone who played the game, I already knew what was going to happen and everything. But the changes, like, this goes back to the changes they did to the Henry and Sam story was so good. Like, it blew my mind. Okay. I was expecting it to be a copy paste of the game, but nah, like, they made Sam deaf. They actually they changed the story of the background story of Henry. So, wait, it's a game? Yes, it's the Last of Us game on PlayStation. Yes, the Last of Us game. They changed it. They made it into a TV show for HBO. So, we're talking about the TV show with some crossing with the game, some game points were comparison, like the Henry and Sam story. They made Sam deaf. They gave Henry more background, and they also changed the story. So in the game, they're just running away from raiders because apparently raiders don't like to keep kids around. So Henry is not gonna let them harm his brother. So he decides to leave the group, and they're going on their own. So they're going on their own. In the TV show, they relate Henry to this new character named Kathleen, and we're gonna go into that. Yes, so Kathleen is new, only for the TV show. She's not in the game. There's not a Kathleen in the game that you have to deal with. But Kathleen basically represents all of the NPC interactions that you have to go through, the people you're shooting, the people you're dodging, being stealthy, all the obstacles. She's basically that. And then they also form all these people around her who also represent that as well, the obstacles that you have to face in the game. So the situation is Henry basically sold her brother out, and her brother was executed by Fedra. So she has like a vendetta against Henry. So that whole story is totally new, only in the TV show, not in the game. But I loved how they did it because you always wonder, at least I did, when playing the game, I always wondered, like, how is humanity going to adapt to this? Like, yes, it's a game, But how is humanity going to adapt to something like this happening? Like, are we going to fall apart or are we going to come together? And most of the time, we fall apart. And that's what happened with Kansas. They basically fell apart. They got rid of Fedra and they decided to govern themselves, right? And that's a scenario that could happen. That's one of the scenarios that could have happened in the game that we were not aware of because the game doesn't go into that. But it did in a TV show, and it did it in a way that really made you feel for the people of Kansas City. Like, made you feel for, like, I was like, if this was me, if I was here, like, I don't know if I would, I honestly, so truthfully, I don't know if I would be a collaborator to work with Fedra or I would be a rebel. Like, I don't know. All I know is that I'm a survive. So if I need to survive and be a collaborator like Henry, I'm gonna be a collaborator like Henry and survive. If I need to stick with the Raiders and like, protest, all that stuff to survive, I would do that. All about self-preservation for me. Okay, I don't know about which you like, Gamer. Do you feel like which side would you fall on with like the people?
When it comes to Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like. This is Kathleen, right? I just want to make
It's the
sure because I'm
Kathleen
so
story and
yeah,
the people. Yup,
yeah.
yup.
I didn't really understand her gripe until they explained why. But before you find out, I didn't really understand why what she needed made sense. So I wouldn't even be on her side. I would be like, look, I don't know what happened, but I don't think I want to ride for you because you seem to be on something else. Like you seem to be more crazed for revenge, and you should do it yourself than pull everybody else into the mix. So I would probably be like, no, I've seen this before. Time to go.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I agree with you. Like, for me, I thought her whole vendetta was just, it was a waste of time, honestly. Like, I get it, I can empathize, but like I said, we gotta stick together. We can't just be, and you see it. You saw how in the episode, like, episode 5, her basically her vendetta did nothing for our people. Like, she spent most of her time upset and hunting for Henry than working on maintaining the world that she was trying to create, getting rid of Fedra. She forgot, she didn't maintain, she didn't contain it. It fell apart. And there was an awesome scene with the zombies. I keep saying zombies, with the infected. Awesome scene. Cause in the previous episode, you like Perry, Perry is played by the actor of Tommy, Joel's brother in the game. So props to him for coming back and playing another character. But I like I said, they always bringing back the characters and like giving them new roles and stuff. I love it. So and then when I heard him, he sounded like Tommy to me. But anyways, Perry is a new guy as well, new character, only in the TV show. And he tells her, he's like, hey, there's this like sinkhole that we need to take care of. And you learn that, you learn in the next episode, why is that? Basically, Henry tells you this. Basically, Fedra drove all of the infected underground. Yeah.
I found that to be really shocking. That was okay. Like just bury them. Like,
yeah, like
these
you're not
things
gonna
can
kill
still
them.
come up.
Exactly. You're not gonna just like light them, like kill it with fire. Like that's what they chose to do. Just drive them underground and that's it. Think that's, wipe it up. That's it. I thought that was just like careless and just bad on Fedra, like for real, bad on Fedra for doing that.
Yeah, this is not I am Legend. They're not gonna have societies down there.
Like for
I
real.
want to be left alone.
Exactly. Like, oh no, these are mindless, infected creatures. I can't even call them human anymore. They're creatures. Only have one single drive, which is to infect and continue to infect. That's it. So he tells her like, yo, like there's this like sinkhole. We got to deal with it. And she's like, no, where's Henry? So her whole story was just annoying to me. Honestly, like if I was her, Henry would be second. That sinkhole would be first. But hey, she wanted Henry so bad that when that hole exploded, every single zombie known to man, every single infected known to man came out that hole, and that was the best scene ever. Like that was, ooh, I was screaming. And then you get to see the bloater, the big guy. He's a big guy. You can see him, and it's a thing in the game, yes. And another change. Oh my god, another change from the game to the TV show. In the game, the bloaters got these spores. They got these like pustules that they take off and they throw at you. And you gotta dodge them because if they hit you, you suck the spores and you die. So they changed that out because again, like I said before, the spores thing wouldn't really work in the real life because it's airborne. We'll all die. Like unless there's like a special mask we everybody gotta wear. If that sucker's airborne, we ain't living. Okay, because we need oxygen to breathe. So that sucker, if it's out there, it's out there. So they took that out and just made the bloater very scaly. He had a lot of fungus. Yeah, the death scene of Perry was nice. It was just like the game, just like how the bloater grabs you in the game. But yeah, like she spent all of her time dealing with the revenge, you know, and it went nowhere. But back to Henry and Sam's story. So we know that they're brothers. If you play the game, they're brothers in the game too. It doesn't change. But yeah, they changed the story around, and they even changed how Ellie and Sam interact. They go into the tunnel after Henry convinces Joel to come along and everything. They go through this tunnel and they go into this room. It's like an underground bunker, you can say, where or underground a settlement, and you get to see how people lived the first couple of months, even years of the outbreak. And you realize that they're not there anymore. And there's this story about Ash. There's, I think, Ash or Tish, Ish. I think it's Ish. And it's like this drawing. And in the game, there is a drawing about Ish. They're basically called the Protectors. And all you know that, you know, what happened to Ish and the people who live down there is that someone got infected and everyone got infected as well. And like you find their bodies and everything. But in the TV show, you don't. In the TV show, you just find an empty room and you get to really see that Sam and Ellie are kids. They're kids going through this. And they have this comic, Starlight. And it is a comic in the game. It's a collectible. In the game, you have to collect the comics, and I think you get a trophy if you collect all the comics in the game. You get a trophy. But they're hanging out. They're playing soccer. They're laughing. They're giggling and everything. And it's so wholesome to watch. And you don't really get a lot of that in the game. And like, that whole episode was very emotional for me. It made you tear up, Tidra. It made me tear up too. It did. Even like just seeing them being kids was just like, I started to tear up because I knew what's gonna happen. But like they they leave the area and they go past the tunnel and they go into this like town area, and then they're attacked by a sniper, and that happens in the game as well. The sniper comes out and everything. Not gonna go too much into that, but a sniper does come out in the game, and there's this moment where Kathleen's people come up and you know they wanna kill Henry, they wanna kill Sam, they wanna kill Joel and Ellie, and everything, and it's just like it kills the moment for me. Like it killed the emotion, the moment that I had. I had happy and good tears. I had happy tears in the beginning, with their story, and then it's like, ugh, like what's going on with this? And then the zombies happen. So there was something that I noticed though in that episode, when Ellie is in the car and the baby clicker comes in. I think that was one of the kids from the Ish settlement. Do you think that?
She was a good actress.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't have the strongest memory of the game as much as you, but it wouldn't surprise me that they have that connection because someone else pointed out to me that there's been Easter eggs, like things from the game that they sprinkle in. So it wouldn't surprise me if we slowed it down, watched it again, that it was probably that because it didn't make sense. There weren't a lot of kids in the area, so it had to be that. So I would say yes.
Yep. And then Kathleen even said that kids die. She was like, kids die all the time. So when I saw the baby clicker trying to attack Ellie in the car, I was like, that's probably one of the kids from the settlement, which is unfortunate. But the clicker did kill Kathleen. The baby clicker did attack her, and I was like, good on the baby clicker for doing that. But then here goes the sad tears. You find out that Sam got bit, and how he tells Ellie about it. They have this whole conversation, and he asks her, is she scared? Is she afraid? And she says she's afraid of being alone. And then he asks her, like, is the person still in there when they turn? And then he shows her his bite mark. And that's when I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. Like, even knowing that was going to happen, I still bawled out. I cried. Like, and I think everybody else did. Like, I've heard that people basically like bawled out, cried. And in the game, I don't think, I know it's not like that. I don't think he tells her. He tells us, but I don't think he tells her. So I think they switched that out from the game into the TV show. But she tries to save him. She tries to save him by giving her his blood. Giving him her blood, Lord. Him her blood, and she tries to save him, and it doesn't work. And then Henry, he killed his brother, and then himself, and that happens in the game. I think everybody like pretty much knows that happens in the game, and does. But at one point, I did think that they was gonna change it. At one point, I thought that Henry and Sam was gonna be tagging along with Joel and Ellie. At one point, I thought that it was gonna change that part of the story. I thought that they were going to just have a different outcome. I was hoping, but no, they did not. It's nothing wrong. I think they did a great job with it. I think they did a great job with the Henry and Sam episode. Very emotional stuff. Oh. And then after the zombies and everything, and you get to they give you a flashback of what happened in the next episode, and then going back to the Joel and Ellie relationship, he buries them for her so she doesn't have to do it, and she basically closes off from it, and she's like straight to the mission, like, where do we have to go next? And in the game, she's not like that. In the game, she wants to talk about it. She wants to talk about what happened and like, are they in a better place and everything? And then Joel's the one who's like, let's not talk about it. People die all the time, kind of thing. So that's a twist that they did. And you can see in his eyes that he is thinking of his daughter. And he is like, he wants to be that support character, that support person for Ellie. And I think that is really when, like, it was giving her the gun and trusting her. And then it was that moment where he was like, he can't lose her. Like, he's lost so many people. He lost Tess. He lost Bill and Frank. He lost Henry and Sam. Like, I felt like at that point he can't lose her. He feels very protective over her. And I think that's when he started to have all these panic attacks in the next episode. They get lost and they find this cabin with this lovely, lovely married couple, and they want to know where they are. So the married couple tells them that they are at a location that is near the River of Death, where people just die. They don't know who's killing them. They just know people die. And they told Joel that, because he's still looking for his brother. He's still trying to deliver Ellie to the Fireflies. He's still on this mission. And they're like, yeah, if you go over this river, you're gonna die. So he starts to panic and get fearful, and it's a change from him from the game. Like, in the game, he's not like this. He's not like, it's sad to say he's a little bit emotionless. Like, he doesn't have, he's focused on the mission, you know. You don't see him cry. He jokes around a little bit in the dialogue, but that's as far. But in the TV show, they really expand on his emotions and made him seem more human. And going back again, like, he doesn't want to lose Ellie. So he starts having these panic attacks and stuff like that. And I think that's when their relationship definitely expands, in my opinion. And they finally meet. They run into his brother in this colony in Jackson. And it's like, you can see how, and his brother said this. His brother said that, you know, his life hasn't stopped. He's been living here and has been happy having a life, where Joel had to struggle. You know, Joel lived in the QZ and had to do everything to survive in the QZ, which included rob, torturing, killing people. So he's been through a lot. And it's like, he knows that if he stays with Ellie, it's going to cost her her life. So he opens up about her being immune. If that wasn't clear enough, Ellie's immune. And he tells his brother this, and it's like, yo, can you take her for me? And there was a scene straight out of the game that was so emotional, where it's line for line. And I think they did a great job delivering that. Basically, they're saying, basically Ellie is saying, don't leave me. Like she's like, everyone who, everyone she's had has either died or left her. And she says, you haven't yet. And it's like, he tells her that he's not her father. And I'm like, nah, dude, you her dad now. You her daddy. You are the father figure. Yeah. What did you think about that scene? Cause you spoke about like how their relationship was forming. You thought that way too?
Remind me the scene you're talking about. Sorry,
The
I have
scene,
background noise.
oh, sorry. The scene where they're in the bedroom right after
Okay,
Joel. Yeah.
I would say that the relationship to me changed. I think once Joel started to realize that this is not just for Tess anymore. This is something bigger, and what he's rekindling with Ellie reminds him of the relationship he has with his daughter. And I think the little glimpse into those scenes that he has with Ellie one on one just illustrates that even more. And I think it's a nice touch point with the show to keep reminding us that these are still two people that are strangers and that they're slowly coming together and making whatever is going on in their life meaningful, and that they're going to get to where they have to go. Hopefully I answered the question.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. That's what I think too. Exactly. Like, I think Joel knows that this is bigger than him. And I think that is bringing a lot of emotions to him because it's like he knows, she can change the world, right? But it's like he's grown to know her, and it's like it's it's beyond being a protective, parent figure, father figure. I think I think their relationship is definitely a father daughter relationship, and I think he didn't expect it to be that way, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Because he at one point he called her cargo, like he was ready to just throw her away, like your cargo. I'm dropping you off and I'm going about my business. But now it's like I don't think he
Uh-huh.
can do that. I don't think he can just like let her go. And I think that's when he realized that after they had that conversation, he goes to sleep. And he wakes up the next morning and he's at the stables, putting the seat on the horse. And he asks her, he's like, you have a decision. You can choose to go with Tommy or me. And he basically like changed his mind. Like he was like, no, I have to see this through with her. Like I have to support her along the way. Like I can't just give up on her. It's not about me type response.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep.
And
The other thing I wanted to mention, sorry,
no, go
did
ahead.
you talk about his panic attacks? Because I found that interesting. I don't know if that was an examination in the game, but I found it a interesting dynamic that he was dealing with something to the point where it was physically affecting him, and that also contributed to how he felt about Ellie and wanting to finally make the decision to take her and not have Tommy finish it. So I was just curious, was that in the game as well? That level of maybe he's really going through something, but he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, so that was not in the game. That was not in the game. He didn't have any panic attacks in the game. And I think that was a good choice for them to add that to the TV show. They really gave him personality. They turn, because like I said before, in the game, Joel was very closed off. He wasn't a relatable, emotional person. He wasn't empathetic to Ellie. Like I said, he joked around a couple of times, was friendly and stuff, but he, at least to me, he didn't seem very emotionally involved with her journey. But in the TV show, he definitely was. Like he had panic attacks and everything because he felt that A, he doesn't want to lose her, right? B, he doesn't want to be the cause of the loss. And then C is like he's remembering his relationship with his daughter. Like she basically became his daughter at that point. And I think that's why he was like, he can't just like, give up on her. He has to see it through. And he does. They get on the horse and they go continue on their journey. And he gets attacked by raiders. And you pick up in the beginning of the episode when they meet up with Tommy, you pick up that Ellie feels the same way towards Joel. Like she feels like she has to be that protector. Like she sees him, she looks up to him, and she wants things to be right for Joel, if that makes sense. When Joel finds out that his brother is married, she's like, saying congratulations, like she is basically keeping him on his P's and Q's and everything, being that type of daughter figure in a way. And I think she actually felt that she became his daughter, even though he says that she's not. I think she already established like, yeah, nah, like, and then especially when she found out that he had a daughter, it changes her mindset even further. And I think that's why she got emotional. And she's like, yo, I'm not your daughter, like, but I can be, if you give me the chance, we can make something out of this, And I think in the next episode after like his encounter with the Raiders and he's hurt, like mortally hurt, like he about to die type hurt. She realizes that she can't lose him. Like it switched from him being like he can't lose her. He's gonna do everything he can to protect her, see her through this, get the mission done, and then if they decide to continue on to their father-daughter relationship, they can. She thought about her friend. She thought about her best friend. They mentioned her in the first episode. Her name is Riley, and they don't allude to like what happened to Riley in the beginning of the season, but in this episode you get to see like she's not going to give up on Joel. She's going to do everything she can to save him, to protect him. Okay. I don't know how she drags him into the house, but homegirl, I think she used the horse, but she drags him into the house and she tries to nurse his wound and everything. And he just wants her to leave. He says to go back to Tommy and is basically saying, leave me to die. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying, leave me to die. And she's like, no, she's not going to leave you. She's not going to leave him to die. She starts to reflect about that one person she had to leave behind. And that's the name of the episode and the DLC. So there's a DLC in The Last of Us where you play as Ellie and it's basically her backstory as to how she got bit and everything. And they did an episode on it. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this episode. You get to see Ellie in the past, how she was before Joel, her Fedra training and everything, and then her relationship with a friend. And they just want to have a nice night, they just want to be kids at the mall and hang out, and then tragedy strikes. And like, I like how they gave you hints along the way. Like, in episode 2, Tess asks Ellie if she has any family or a boyfriend looking after her, like looking for her. And she says, no, not a boyfriend. No, nothing. I am an orphan and I don't have a boyfriend. And then there was a scene when, like, right after the Bill and Frank episode, she finds a porno mag. It's a guy porno mag. And she just makes fun of she's like, what is this? Like, she's like, I'm not interested in this. So they allude to Ellie being gay, but without saying it. They give hints to it. They don't just like, shout it out. And I think, like, I like how they did that too. Because in the game they don't do that. They do it like that in the game. Similarly, you know that she has feelings for Riley, and her acting, Lady Marmont's acting with the gay panic, where she wants to kiss Riley, she wants to show Riley that she likes her, was spot on. Okay, like that was so good. And basically they have like a date, like Riley planned all this out. She, got electricity to work in the mall. She got the fair. She has an itinerary. It's an amazing night at the mall, and you start to, it's another emotional episode. Like, you get happy. You're like, oh my God, like they're being kids. They're doing things that they should be doing at this age, not training to blow up, like places or fight zombies and all that stuff. They're being kids. And then it's like that, like, it just, okay. So before I go there, the arcade scene had me smiling from ear to ear. Did the arcade look good, right? That arcade, Roger's arcade.
Yeah, that was fun. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Again, it's another thing that I don't remember from the game, but it was a nice, like, light moment to be like, let's relive what it used to be like before everything went to what. Mm-hmm. But we all knew while we were watching, it was like, something's coming. Something's coming. This is too perfect.
Like, we watch the Last of Us every Sunday in the Discord, and so like we basically was like biting our nails and like just oh my God, it's gonna happen. When is it gonna happen? We were just like on edge with happiness. We were happy, but we were on edge because we knew that the happiness was not gonna last, and it didn't. They, after they go to the arcade and everything, and they play Mortal Kombat 2, a game that she mentioned to Joel in episode 3, and you basically get to see, like I said, them be kids. They're playing Mortal Kombat 2, they're in the arcade, they're playing with the Ferris wheel, they're at a Halloween shop dancing on countertops. They're just having a grand old time, and then this big stalker comes out of nowhere and ruins it. Ellie has her first kiss with Riley. I think it was her first kiss ever. She, they basically having this amazing time, and we love it for it. We love all of this for them. And then tragedy strikes, and they both get bit. And we all know, Ellie's immune because we've seen it in her present day, but not Riley. So there was a moment in, I believe it was episode 4 or 5, where after she defended Joel, he asked her, like, how did you learn how to shoot or something like that? And she's like, it's not my first time. And it clicked to me when I watched the Left Behind episode that her first time was with Riley. That was the first time she had to possibly use a weapon. I don't know if they have weapon training in Fedra, but the way she said it to him she didn't sound very like happy, because when you watched her throughout that episode, she, or throughout the beginning of the season, she wanted a gun. She was like, I want a gun. It's so cool. But when he asked her, like, how did you know, have you worked the gun before? She didn't seem very excited to tell him why or how. And I think that was the moment where she had to do it. And it pans back to the present day, and she's destroying the kitchen. She's trying to figure out like what she can do to help Joel, because she refuses to leave him behind. And he looks at her, and you can see in his face, he's tearing up, and he's just like, yo, like, she's here. She didn't leave me. Like, she stayed with me. She's helping me out. I told her to go, but she's not. And I think the next couple episodes, we're really going to see, I think we have 2 episodes. We have tonight's episode, and then we have another episode. I think there's 9 episodes in the show. I think we're definitely going to see the father-daughter relationship that we were hoping for, that we've been seeing, is going to be in our face, like blatantly in our face, like right there. But yeah, that's basically where we are in the show. The Left Behind episode was the last one. And then the next couple episodes I'm really excited for. I think since they got renewed for season 2, that we're probably gonna have a cliffhanger. What you think, Gamo?
There's definitely going to be a cliffhanger. I don't think that we're going to finish the first game by the end of the season, even if this is a mid-season finale or just a finale. So I'm looking forward to the fact that they're going to drop a bomb and let us all wonder what's going to happen next, and we have to wait patiently for the next season.
Patiently. Oh, my God. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think they're gonna end it like how the first game ends. No, I don't think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna cut it somewhere, like a nice spot, nice little spot, and have us basically on our knees begging for backstage footage, something for the next season. To someone who's played the remastered, and I will only play that version, I plan on playing that too, because part 2, sorry, but the Last of Us show has definitely done the source material justice and done it better than the game. Yes, yup, I agree with you. Yes, I am hoping. No, they're gonna do something similar. I hope that. Okay, so I played part 2. I'm not gonna go too into the weeds of part 2, but I played part 2. I know how that game goes, how it ends, and everything. And a lot of people didn't really like part 2. I'm mixed on it. Like, some parts were good, but like, it's one of those games where you're just like, goddamn. And have any credit with Oh, don't spoil it. But I think I know what you're talking about. But this not spoil. Don't teach me. I did my own research. I did my research, derpy. The new characters, the characters that we see in part 2, the part 2 of the game. I think they have the actors already. So, because they're following, that's not a spoiler. Okay. Because they're following the account. So, yeah. So I do have some backstage stuff. But yeah. But yeah, I like what they're doing with the TV show. It's definitely different than the game. It's honestly, like, this TV show, I had low hopes because of all of the stuff that like what happened with the Resident Evil TV show, even the Resident Evil movies. Like, the Silent Hill 2 movie. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for brushing around it. Thank you. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think they really did the game justice. Like Derpy said, I think it's better than the game, especially in a lot of ways. I think the changes they did worked. I'm really excited for tonight's episode and episode after. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with part 2. I hope they expand a lot of things that we all been wondering about in part 2. So I'm very excited to see that in the next season. And I hope we have, for the finale, I hope we have like some sort of Easter egg for the second season, for the second game. I hope they do that. If you know what goes on in Winter, sister, imagine Twitter's reaction tonight are going to be, and the general audience who don't know, not ready. I am. Listen, all I'm going to say is that I died the most in this part. This part of the game, I died the most. Okay? Out of the entire game. Okay? Out of the entirety of the game of The Last of Us, I have died the most at this part of the game. Tonight's episode, I have PTSD. Okay? There was times where I wanted to quit the game. Okay? I wanted to just say no. Like, I wanted to be like, I can't finish. As did I. Yup. See, yes, like I had to take a break. Okay. I think I ended up playing Little Nightmares around that time too, because I needed to play something else. So I was alternating Little Nightmares and The Last of Us because of that part. So tonight's episode is gonna be just woo. Man, I'm excited. I can't wait. But yeah, that's crazy. I think I gotta look back when this is, because obviously this is live. We're talking live, and thank you everybody who's here, who's talking. I was really nervous to do this. I usually play games live, but to do a live discussion where I'm just talking the entire time is new for me, especially on this channel. I think the only time I'm talking this much is if I'm cooking on my Twitch channel. I'm doing cooking streams. So to be here, and thank you, Gamer, for sitting down and chatting with me. I really appreciate it. For those who are engaged in the conversation, thank you so much. This was great. Yup.
This was really fun. Let's do it again, maybe for the finale. Like once we see the ending, maybe we could come back and chat about it. That's only up to you if you want to do it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm definitely gonna do that. That's a great idea. That's gonna be great. Yeah. Cause it's also promptu. Like, this is unedited discussion. Like, we're literally just talking and hanging out and recapping off of memory. Which at a time, sometimes it's very hard to just, to do. So this is great. And Derpy, let me see what you said. I've been trying to keep my mouth shut for season 2. I've been just teasing the tone and trailers from part without giving the story trailers. So the first 2 trailers they dropped are the only ones. Wait, they dropped the trailers of season 2? Let us show 2 and discuss about anyone teasing season 2. That's it. Wait a minute. You cook, play games, discuss movies, and glasses? JK? Yeah, so my Twitch is down below. I do cooking streams once a month. It's probably gonna be bi-weekly. I mean bi-monthly, but so far we've been doing cooking streams once a month. And yeah, they've been great. Last time we made cat pizza. So that was fun. Our next one, we're gonna be making drinks. So I'm gonna be your bartender, and I'm gonna make some drinks. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's on Twitch. So definitely drop a follow there if you want to see that. I also play games there as well. Yeah, I do a lot. But yeah. on here we play games, and I do reviews and reactions on this channel. So I'll make sure to when we're done, I'll make sure to leave the Last of Us trailer reaction, the teaser trailer reaction, and my first recap episode down here. And also I have clips of my first gameplay from when I played on Twitch. So I'll also leave that down there so y'all can see. I'm gonna see if I could find a clip from tonight's episode when I was playing. But it was so long ago, so I might not have it. But I will leave clips down, or streams down from when I played The Last of Us. And yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna play the remaster version. Oh, not the remaster, the remake. I played the remaster. I have The Last of Us Part 1 on PlayStation 3, and then I have it again on PlayStation 2, the remaster version, and then that came with Left Behind DLC. And then I have The Last of Us Part 2 for PlayStation 4. I'm gonna play The Last of Us remake on my PlayStation 5 right after the show ends. I'm gonna play that. So ooh-wee. I'm gonna have to get ready for tonight's episode. No, so the remake one, not the remaster, the remake that came out last year. I'm gonna play that on my PlayStation 5. The other ones I have on PlayStation 4. Twitter's not ready. Nah, Twitter is not ready at all. Twitter. I said PlayStation 2. Wait, I did? That's the PlayStation 2? I meant to say PlayStation 3. If I said 2, I'm sorry. PlayStation 3, Last of Us on PlayStation 3. That's what I have. Okay, my bad. But yeah, y'all, thank you for hanging out. I think we're gonna end it here. Cause I gotta prepare. I'm gonna cook me some dinner, and I think the episode starts at 9, so we have some time. We have 3 hours, to get our minds together, and be ready for tonight's episode. Gamer, you coming?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm excited. I can't wait. This was nice. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you. Oh, it's such a relief. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, this is good. Y'all, it's good to get out of your comfort zone, okay? And try new things. Always remember, try new things. Get out that comfort zone. So that was me today. And I appreciate everyone who stopped by and chatted. And like I said, thank you so much, Gamer, for being here. We're going to do this again for when the season is over. We're going to do another one of these. And then I have to find another show to watch. Another show. But that'll be yeah. Catch me out the hospital. How about that? Oh my God. Thank you, Agent 8. Yes, it was. Thank you so much, y'all. Okay, so yeah, thank you. I will see y'all in the next stream. I haven't put up the Oh, Mandalorian. Yeah. We could do the Mandalorian. We could. I watched the first episode that came out for the new season. So I watched that. But yeah, we could definitely do the Mandalorian. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Osaka's coming too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she is. And then there's also You. I watched the first episode of the new season of You. So that's we that could be one. I think yeah. That's the only two I'm thinking of. Mandalorian and You on Netflix. So, but yeah, I will definitely, or maybe like an anime. I don't know. I haven't done any anime recaps and stuff. So maybe anime could come down the line. We'll see. But yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out. This was so great. Thank you so much. And if you haven't yet, please make sure to like the stream. Share my channel with your friends and your socials and all that stuff. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by May and 1,000 by October. We could do it. I just need everybody's support. So thank you all. Thank you all. And F it Avatar Last Airbender live reactions. Oh my God. Oh, listen, maybe, I don't know. But yeah. Bye. All right, y'all. I will see you on the next stream.